Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Food Empowerment Project, and you can help me help them help the animals by donating to our fundraiser here on Twitch, visiting their website, which I posted in the chat, or simply by watching my streams and bringing your friends, because I'll be making my own donation at the end of the month, which is coming up soon, based on my unique viewers count. If you enjoy today's stream, please support my creative work by becoming a Twitch subscriber to remove ads and get cute emotes, joining my Patreon to get illustrated postcards and prints in the mail, or sending me some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. Links to all these are in my Twitch About section or in the YouTube description if you're watching the recording. Today is Tuesday. I had to think about that because it was a holiday yesterday. Today is Tuesday, which means it's time for more illustration. And I am happy to get back to work on my bees Onomatopoeia piece. I edited the colors last week, and coming back to it after not looking at this piece for a few days, I am feeling really good about what I ended up with for these colors, and I'm ready to move on to coloring and shading I think I was going to work on the flowers. I think what I was doing now that so the color of the bees is what popped. I mean, look at them. It really popped. That was the first thing I thought of, but now that I am recalling what was I actually working on, I was getting the flower lines onto their own layers. And then I'm going to have to do that with the color, the flat color underneath as well. But let's do the lines first, and then we can do the flat color. Instead of going back and forth between lines and color. We'll do all the lines first, and we'll do the color. So what I did last time was get the flowers, so I named it isolated flowered lines. What I mean is that these flowers are not touching anything else. I mean, they're not touching any other flowers. They're touching the bees, but that's okay. Now we need to focus on, I wonder if I should, I'm going to rename this original lines. Because by the end, every single bit of ink work should be on its own layer, separate from this original lines layer. And then I can just turn it off to have as a reference in case I need it, or if I have to get something from it later for whatever reason. So that one's now original lines. Because it does help once I've got all of this stuff divided up to be able to see it only separated, to make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't know if that's making any sense, but it makes sense to me. Alright, so the next flowers, I guess we'll just move over here. We've got 3 flowers right here that are all grouped up. And I need to get them each onto their own layer. Mostly so that I can color these buds. So I might leave these two together, because I don't think the amount of overlap will be hard to deal with. But the flower buds are a completely different color. And that's the main reason I want to separate this stuff. But when we go in here, I might change my mind, because I do want to color these areas that are, let's see, I want to color the lines at the end once the flat color is shaded and highlighted. That way we won't have this huge contrast between nearly white and black. I wonder if there would be any reason I'd want to color them a different color between this flower and this flower. It could help with separation. But I could also just color it carefully. So I suppose I'll do that. For now, I will go forward with the idea that I will just be carefully cutting this or I will be carefully coloring these lines. That way I can save myself some work now. If I have to do something with it later, then so be it. But if I don't have to do something with it later, then it's all for the best. So first I'm just going to carefully capture. This is going to be hard because it's actually touching here. Oh, what if hold on, I had a great idea. Actually, this might be perfect. This might actually work great. Because I don't have to cut this. I can just copy it. I just have to make sure there's no awkward missing spots. I have to think carefully what I'm doing. Ah! So do I want to cut all that way? Do I want to add a little bit? I think I might add a little bit to the selection. Okay. Now I'm just going to... Wait, I think I have these mapped. Copy? Yes. We're going to copy, and we're going to paste, which should create... Yep, it creates its own layer. And we'll name this one, well, what will we name it? Left bud. Left center bud. Or was I calling that middle? Let me go to what I was calling the bees. Left, out, middle, up. Yeah, I was calling it middle. Okay. I'm trying to keep my nomenclature consistent. Oh, why does it do that? Okay, right. I can't use just old plain old paste. Maybe I can do it here. Okay, I'm gonna have to rename it. I have to undo this. Oh man, that's so annoying. I have to paste in place. So I do need to go to this menu. I'd be using the keyboard shortcuts, but in order to facilitate a more precise lassoing of the lines, I have my tablet in front of me instead of my keyboard. My keyboard is off to the side and kind of hard to reach. Copy it. We're going to go to paste in place. There we go. Now, hold on, there's a pet hair on my keyboard. Oh, it's so distracting for me. Okay, left, middle, bud. Left, middle, bud. Okay. So for left, middle, bud, I'm going to erase a lot of the lines that are definitely the flowers. Because sometimes the way Photoshop or anything that is displaying a digital image, it has to make decisions about the information. And sometimes the decisions lead pixels that should be tucked underneath other pixels. It leads them to be displayed anyway. Since this is digital art, not physical art, wait, I think I want to bring that back actually. So for little tiny areas, I will actually leave a little bit sticking out. Just for some insurance. Little insurance pixels here. But otherwise I want to get rid of them because I don't want them to accidentally poke out. So the computer doesn't see. Wow, what did I do? I have no idea what I just did. I moved it somehow. How did you do that? Weird. Anyway. The computer sees not with eyes like we do. The computer sees literally in bits. And every pixel, every layer is made out of bits. So it knows it's there even if we can't see it. So I'm trying to work with the program. That's what I'm trying to say. Trying to work with the program here and leave a little bit, but try to get most of it. Some little insurance lines. Let's see about this too. Well, it looks like I was actually cutting the color. I don't want to. I don't want to cut the color too today. Or at least not yet, not until I get all the lines done. Then I'll do the color. Guess I was doing it different last time. So I just noticed I have 2 separate layers down here. Ah, it doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. As long as I get to the end point that I'm aiming for. Okay. So next, we're going to zoom out because what we need is all of this flower stuff. We're going to put these 2 flowers on a layer together because they are not overlapping so much that I think it'll be a problem. And even if it is a problem, or let's not even call it a problem, even if it is something that I decide I want to change later, it won't be that big of a deal to change it later rather than now. Now we shall copy, but we gotta paste in place. I wanna put this into my remote. Shift Control V. There is a way to do that. How do I do it? This button. Nope, doesn't want to do anything. Please wait while we what? No, this wasn't it. There are some buttons here on my tablet. Dude, how do I add stuff to my remote? Maybe I have to be out of Photoshop. Oh, there's an update. Well, I can't deal with that right now. Is it loading or just like nothing happening? The heck? Nothing's happening. What? What? Alright, there was a different way I found it. It's like in here or something. Useful tools. I should put this in my useful tools folder. There we go. And just start. Go back. The heck? What is this? Where's my normal start menu? Useful tools. Actually, all this stuff is useful. Whatever. Wacom tablet properties. Okay. This is what I wanted. Remote, and then for Photoshop, for this one, so right now I have paste mapped here. So on the opposite side, I will map. What was it? Shift Control V. Ugh. It's hard because I'm sideways to my keyboard. Shift Control V. And this is going to be called Paste in Place. Click OK. There, it's showing there. And now I need to write it down physically on this little map that I have hanging up. Point to this one, and it is paste. Oh, it's really hard. I'm having to write up on the side of my tower. Paste in place. There. Wow, this project is ending up giving me a lot of new shortcut stuff. Let's test it. Where are you, Photoshop? Okay. Oh, it worked. Yep, it worked. Hooray! Okay. I'll get in here close and erase that extra stuff that we don't want. Now this layer is going to sit, in fact I'm going to put it up here. It's going to sit on top of that bud. So I'm going to be precise here with my erasing. The insurance pixels on the left middle bud layer were so that I could be precise with my erasing here and not worry about it. So this is left middle flowers. I guess I'll call them blooms. There. Actually, I'm going to make my eraser even smaller. It's places like right here also that the insurance pixels are great because I'm having to decide how much of this line belongs to the bud and how much of this line belongs to the bloom. So whatever I decide, it should be covered by the pixels I left on the other layer. I have this feeling I didn't leave this on this. I didn't, and this is, well, this is exactly why. Okay, hold on. I've got to bring a line back in from the original lines. This is why it's good to always keep the original lines. I didn't realize that this is actually the side of the bud, not another one of these little stems. So we can copy, paste in place, and then what we want to do is merge this one down. Oh, I wish it didn't do that. Hold on, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to merge this one down. There. Now, good. And we can clean it a little bit more. Whoa, I just realized I was using eraser. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I wasn't using my blending mode that I discovered. That's okay. We'll just use eraser. Okay. Now let's make sure the effects doesn't reveal any rogue pixels. Okay, now we can get back to this one. Left middle blooms. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm on my personal ink brush. This. Ah, no! I've got to change that blending mode. There. That's why I found out about the blending mode, because I was like, how? How do I use it as an eraser? Okay. Next, happily, I created space between the flowers and the bees at the very beginning on purpose so that the bees could really shine as the stars of this illustration. And that means at this point I don't have to do any of that insurance pixels or anything, just erase carefully the bee lines, and then they will actually, you know what, I have something even better I can do. I'm just going to cut them. I'm going to cut them out and put them on their own layer now. What am I doing? Making extra work for myself. Haha. Ah, it's hard to see right here because my hand is covering up the screen. So I am working on a Wacom tablet. It's a Cintiq, so it is my monitor. I am working directly on my monitor, which for the most part is a million times better than the kind of tablets where you have them separate and you're working on the screen but your hand is moving in your lap or wherever. But every once in a while, stuff like my own hand is blocking my view happens. But nothing's perfect. Okay. So we cut. No, we copied. Actually, we do want to cut this one because we're not cutting it from the original lines. We're cutting it from these additional lines. So we're going to cut it. And then we're going to paste into place. Comes right back the same spot where we took it from, but we can name it. So we're going to name it, actually put it on top because I want all the bees on top. This one is, well, I guess I got to figure out what this bee is called and then I will name it that. Bee left out middle up. Bee left out middle up. Wait, I want to rename it. Bee left out middle up. Man, I might end up renaming all of these, but I will wait until I have the keyboard in front of me. So now those lines are gone, but not deleted. Instead, they've just been moved to their own layer, so super handy. Maybe I should do all the bees first. Then they'd be out of the way of the lines for the flowers. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make a copy of the original lines. We'll turn it on. And then I think what I'll do is turn these on. Okay, I'll think about, there's so many ways I could do this. But I think what I'll use is the select tool. So I'm moving my tablet, I'm getting my keyboard back in front of me. Keyboard and mouse. And I'm going to select the layers that I've already worked with. I gotta turn all this other stuff off. It's hard to think right now. Wow, there's so much going on. Oh, I could have just turned this whole thing on. Okay. I don't know if that needs to be on or what. Okay, we're just gonna turn that off. Turn off the color. Okay. Now we're just working on the lines. So we'll start here. So I turned off contiguous. That way, if there's any isolated area that is completely encased by lines, it won't be blocked by that. Because what I'm trying to select is all of the empty pixels. There might be some faster way to do this. I don't know it, so it's actually faster to just go ahead and do it this way rather than try to teach myself something new right now for this little thing. So what I'm going to do is select and inverse. And now on the original lines copy, I'm going to delete. And deselect. And now we'll do that for the isolated flower lines. Select inverse. I find that if I press, maybe they've updated it and I'm just doing this for no good reason, but in the past I found that if I don't press delete a bunch of times, it'll leave some pixels. So that's why I'm pressing it a bunch of times. Let's do the same thing here. Select inverse. Bunch of deletes. Oh wait, I'm deleting the wrong layers. Blast it. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I want to delete it from here. Delete. Now, go over here. You select on this layer, but we got to make sure to change off of this layer to here. And then here. Select. Inverse. Oh, make sure to go back down. Bunch of deletes. And then I think the bud is the last thing. Select. Inverse. Bunch of deletes. Oh wait, nope. Not a bunch of deletes. I forgot. Select inverse. Move to this layer. Bunch of deletes. Deselect. Now. Okay, the bee is gone. Isolated flowers are gone. Left middle blooms are gone. Oh wait, I wasn't done with those yet, so actually I didn't want to do that. Blast it! Blast it all! I've got to do it over again. I wasn't done with that one. So this one I'm done with. Maybe it would have been faster to figure it out. Oh well, it's too late. I already started doing this. Inverse. This one, we're good. So we can delete from the original lines copy. The isolated flower lines, we definitely done with that. Inverse. And make sure to go back down here. 1, 2, 3. Left middle blooms we're not done with, so we're not going to do those. But that bud, we are. So going to inverse there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Deselect. Okay, so that's gone. Those are gone. This bud is not gone. Why is the bud not gone? Huh. What? Did I not actually... I must have missed something. There, I've got that. Select inverse. Original lines copy. And delete, delete, delete. deselect. Okay, I somehow just missed a key step, although it looks like I missed something else too. Oh, because I haven't done this one yet. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna finish with this and then I'll go back and do the bees. Just doing this with mouse because it's fairly easy since the lines are already clearly demarcated. It's going to be even easier once I get the bees all onto their own layers first. Be saving myself some time. Ooh, the PC fans are ramping up. Tower fans. I better save. I'm always worried. It always makes me think my computer's gonna crash, even though it doesn't. At least not this computer. It's happened with previous computers. That's why I've been mildly traumatized by the sound of fans suddenly ramping up. Ah, no, I erased more than I wanted to. There's a little bit that would be best to use a stylus. We'll see if I can do it straight up and down here instead of at a comfortable angle. Slightly uncomfortable angle. Let me compare that to the butt lines. Yeah, I can erase this too. I was thinking it wasn't looking as round as I'd like. Okay. All the places where the buds lines were touching the flowers lines have been addressed. Okay. So now I'm just going to put this effects layer on. Oh yeah, look at all of these. I'm gonna check the bee too, just to be sure. Yeah, looks good. So now the original lines I can go through and select these flowers inverse, check the lines that I want it to actually select. I mean the layer that I want to actually select and delete. And a couple more times just to be sure. Now we can deselect. Oh, see, this is what I was talking about. I did it 3 times and it still has this. Does this have this everywhere? Oh, it does. I didn't delete enough. Well, that problem has not been resolved. I guess I'll just use the eraser because my multiple deletes weren't working. Rest in peace, flowers. They're not gone forever. They just moved. Here they are. Don't cry. Welcome. Well, thank you for joining me again this week. How's your week been going? Did you have a fun Memorial Day? Did you have it off? I mean, I know Memorial Day isn't fun for everyone, but for a lot of people it is fun, and it was fun for me. So that's why it came to mind first. If you didn't have a fun one, I am very sorry to hear that. Oh, what's this? What is this little extra? Where's this little extra bit? Oh, what is this? From the bud? Why is that erased? What? I am so confused. I think I gotta get this from the original lines. I just erased that, I guess. Oh, lots of rain. Not bad, but did cancel family plans. That's too bad. Well, I hope you got some time to relax at least. Rain is pretty relaxing, at least for me. No tornadoes though, I hope. Alright, where's this little missing bit? Right here? Yeah, what the heck happened here? Okay, I'm just going to circle this and use my copy shortcut and my paste in place shortcut. We'll put this above the layer that I want to merge it with and merge down. Ah, it is whole again. Ah, that's good. May all the tornadoes avoid you, your home, and anyone you care about. But if they can just be a little entertaining for you, then that's alright. Just a little bit, you know, tornado warning, but a tornado doesn't actually come. Just something to up the tension, just a little bit. Okay, so it looks like I am going to have to manually erase, even though I tried so hard. Pressing delete multiple times, it didn't work. But the way I'm going to do this after I get this copy layer cleaned up will be much better. It's really going to help. So just got to get through cleaning it up first. Even though this is part of my process, it's still not something that I do all the time, so that's why it's hard for me to decide how to approach each step and which method to use this time, or try to remember how did I do it last time. And even though I'm very meticulous in my art making, I am not going to go to the effort of writing down every single step so that I can follow it like a manual. That's too much. It's too much extra work. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it that way. This stylus nib is all smushed and sharp on one side. Still, I was hoping that it was just like, I don't know, a little more malleable than, I mean, I guess it is, but a little more malleable than the previous tablet that I had, and so by using it, it would sort of even itself out, but I think it's just literally gotten worn down. So yesterday, finally, I went ahead and ordered a pack of replacement nibs, and they should be here tomorrow. So then I won't have to worry anymore about scratching my screen with my own stylus nib. But as it is, I keep feeling paranoid. I noticed it because it feels different. The tactile sensation of the stylus on the screen, and then it makes a slightly different sound as it goes across the surface. I haven't noticed any scratches yet so far though. So hopefully today's work session won't be that final straw. Just hang in there. Hang in there, tablet screen. So I've got to go all the way across the whole image to get all of these. Every piece that I've already separated onto its own layer, I have to do this. Well, I don't have to do it. But to get the result I want, I do. I would rather not spend the time doing this, but since it ended up this way, it is pretty fun to just erase these little specks. Extremely low stakes. Just erase the specks, that's it. What I'm doing is cleaning up the stuff that is now put on its own layer. That way, once this bee is going to be a great example. So I've already removed the stuff that's touching it. So now I'll just be able to circle this bee, cut, paste in place, and I won't have to do any erasing on it at all after this. That was the idea from the beginning, but since the delete isn't very, what's the term? Reliable, precise? I don't know exactly. It leaves all these little specks, so that's why I'm having to do it this way. Oh, it's nice. I could just make a huge brush and get this one from far away. Well, from zoomed out, it's the same distance, but it feels closer or farther because of the zoom. It is cool seeing this. It's like a firework. Firework making a shape in the sky. Oh, let me get this stuff in the corner real quick. Very easy. Okay, I think all that's left is this. This stuff. all these bees that I'm clearing up. These final leftovers of flowers from next to. I'm just going to be able to lasso them, put them on their new layer, and that's that. I won't even have to check for stray pixels because I'll just be grabbing the whole thing. Okay, one last look to make sure there's not any more little bitty dots. Okay, so we can finally do the thing that I wanted to do. Had to take this little detour in order to make it work. So I'm going to lift my tablet up. It feels a lot harder than usual to lift my tablet up. It's a very heavy piece of equipment, but also I have done 2 really good workouts so far this week, and my upper body is really, really tired. My lower body is too after today. So, little art tasks, it's not usually an issue. It feels challenging. Okay, so now I don't need this effects layer. I'll just go over here and start circling bees. I'll do the easy ones first. So we're gonna Control X and then, oh, I think it was Control Shift V to get it in place. Yes, that looks like it. And then we do want the color back on so that I can tell what the layer was called. So this one's called Bee Left Up Out. So we're gonna name this the same. Bee Left Up Out. And so now that is off of the original line's copy onto its own layer. So we'll turn that off. I want to stay focused only on the things we haven't finished yet. So we'll just move over here. Be a little bit more careful. And whoops, I am grabbing this with my mouse. So it's a little less easy to encircle that which I want and avoid that which I don't. Control X, Control Shift V. And then this one was called B Left Out Middle Down. B Left Out Middle Down. I'm gonna make a folder called B Lines. B Lines! Even though a B line is a thing. Yeah, that one's done. Now we can get this big one. Hopefully, it's understandable now what I meant about how it's easier. I had to do all that extra work, so maybe it doesn't seem easier. But this is definitely easier than what I had been doing. And this one is called B Big Left. This goes in the B folder. And there it is. So we just keep going, keep getting all these B's. By the end, what I want is for the original line's copy to be devoid of pixels. That's how I'll know that I'm done. And then I'll still have the original lines if I need to reference that or pull something from it or whatever. B left bottom edge. Boop. Lasso tool, lasso this little tiny one. B left down in. just go in the folder. Thank you. Alright, let's try to be careful right here. A little narrow lane. Whee! Okay, did it. Can I see? I don't think I can. Yeah. You have to go to the Move tool in order to see the layer names by right-clicking. B, center middle. B centered down. All right. I think there's only one more I can get like this, and then I'm gonna have to go in real close for some precision lassoing because they're right next to other lines and I've got to make sure to get in between. So this last one's called B right down out. I'll use my stylus. Oh, I think that was too close. Let's try again. It was too close to the other lines. I don't want to grab pixels from the flowers. And I don't want to leave pixels from the bee. Oh, Aoife dog, she's starting to have a dream. I can't look right now, but I'm pretty sure she's in the top puppy cam if you want to try to catch her in her dreaming state. Let me see. Yeah, she's in the top puppy cam. Oh yeah, you can see, you can totally see her. Little boof boof. What? Oh, I was on the wrong layer. Blast it. There we go. There, that's better. Okay. B, left, up, in. Oh, she's doing some dream snores. I'm gonna have to tackle this one in multiple passes. Oh, getting close to break time too. I love the color of this bee. I love all the colors that I ended up with. This one is one of my faves though. It's the closest to a natural bee color, but especially up close like this, it's totally not. It's totally not a natural bee color. Which is what I'm going for. I'm going for unnatural, whimsical, vibrant colors. Gotta give my hand a break, so I'm gonna loop around. Whew. Okay. I have to hold my hand very, very taut. My muscles in my whole arm very, very taut. So I gotta take a break for a second every so often. Now Aoife's eating in her sleep. I don't know if you can see it, because I can't look at the camera right now. But I can hear her making eating sounds. Oh no, this is so tight right here. Oh no. I think I gotta zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in real close here. How did I leave this so tight right here? Did I manage it? It looks like I managed it. Wow. Wait, go back over there. Ugh. It's hard. I can't use the navigator. Oh, wow. Look at that. I just barely managed to select in between those lines. Ooh. Incredible. It's easier to select when it's big like this, so I'm going to leave it big. Oh, it's pretty much break time. I have some yummy cotton candy grapes waiting for me for my snack. Love those grapes. They're the most amazing grapes ever. Alongside whatever the red version is. Can't remember what they named the red version. Sound of that. Can't wait to get my new nibs. So I don't have this smushed up one. They must just decided to use a different kind of plastic in the nib for this tablet, because my other tablet was so old and the stylus is different. Doesn't even use these same nibs. Alright, we're only halfway done selecting this bee. So I will leave it on the cute legs and go take my break. I encourage everyone else to also take this opportunity to stretch and refresh. I'm going to put my Be Right Back sign on, which includes remastered versions of my Suno songs for the background music, so I hope those are enjoyable. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. everyone, I'm back. I hope you all had a great break. I enjoyed my delicious cotton candy grapes and I did a little stretching. I couldn't finish my grapes, but that just means I have snack what? 2.0? Snack 2.0, snack number 2 waiting for me after the stream in an hour. If anyone hasn't tried cotton candy grapes before, I highly recommend it. They're a special breed of grape that were cultivated over something like 10 years. And they're super, super sweet. They're so yummy. They're called cotton candy. It's not just a marketing ploy. They really are that sweet. So whenever our local veggie stand has them, we always get a couple bags because we don't want to share. So me and my husband each get our own bag. Well, at least I don't want to share. So we each get a bag. So I am just piecemeal selecting this bee until I've got everything covered. I just have to hold down, the way I'm doing it right now, I'm holding down Shift on my keyboard. So if you hold down Shift, that will add to your selection. All right, one little bit left. Oh, another little tight one. I did it before, so I can do it again. Okay, I think that's it. Let's zoom out. Okay, that looks like everything, so we're going to Control X, Control Shift V. Oh, I think I did it again. Hold on, I'm going to undo. You need to Control X on this line. Control X to cut. There we go. And then Control Shift B to put on its own layer. Move tool and right click to find the name of the color, which is B, center up. Give this the same name. And then pop it in the B lines folder. And also turn it off so that we know we don't need to worry about that anymore. So it looks like the next bee is this other really giant, huge one. So there's a big part we can do without zooming in. There's not really anything near it. I'm going to select everything I can that's not near anything else, and then I'll zoom in. Okay, zoom in. Get some precision lassoing done here. that's it. I think it was just this one little bit next to this flower. And then, yeah, everything else has already been taken. So, this one. This bee is called Bee Big Right. So now we know we've done that one. I think all that's left is these little 3 on the right side. Yeah, I don't see any others, so we can just zoom right in over here. This little green fella first. Oops. Lasso. Nope, wrong layer. There we go. This one is called Be Right Up In. There's a kid outside and they're just going, hi. I don't know who they're talking to. Reminds me of my younger brother. Back when he was truly my little brother, he'd always just say hi to strangers. And I'd be like, oh my God, do not talk to strangers. But he would just say hi to random people walking by. It's like, you want to be kidnapped? Don't do that. Oops. I forgot paste in place. There we go. Be right up out. One more. Big pinky purpley one. So we could go down to 300% and then we can have the full bee on view. Sometimes I have to prepare my eyes, and I can't move my hand until I feel like my eyes are ready to work together with my hand. Alright, let's just do this real quick. I need a break. Okay. There's only a little bit left, but my arm was getting tired. And tired arm is shaky arm, and shaky arm is mistakey arm. Now, it was really close right here, so I'm going to zoom in to see. And maybe I can grab just a little bit more just in case. Just to be sure. I'm looking, while I'm zoomed in, I'm looking at everything else, but everything else looks good. Okay, zoom out. Oh, no, we're on the wrong layer again. I keep forgetting. bee right edge. So now I'm going to turn all these layers on that are in the bee lines folder. Close the folder, and now when I turn this off, all the lines for the bees should disappear if I've done this correctly. Yay! So now I've made it easier for myself for the remainder of the flower lines. For instance, I guess this one's a bud, but here I won't have to, I'm still going to separate these two flowers, but I won't have to worry about these lines here at all because they've already been removed. That's what inspired me, was this bee over here. Oh, you know, I could take the bees out first because they were already separated. So I'll go back to what I had been working on. Although real quick, I am going to name the flower lines to be more like the bees. And we'll put a folder here. Ah, I see. I'm going to have to, because I have upper bees and lower bees, I'm going to have to do that with the lines too, so that I can have the upper bee lines on top of the lower flower lines. And maybe it won't make that much of a difference. Let's just keep it even. What about color? I wonder if I could just put these on here. No, because the color has to stay behind the lines. Okay, we're going to do a little organization because I have so many layers and it's only going to keep growing. So we're going to do upper bees and we're going to try to make it the same. New group. I just have color. Maybe I'll just call it lines. Okay, so upper bees include bee, left out, middle up. Bee, left out, middle up. Left out, middle down. Bee, big left. Left bottom edge. Left down in. Center down. Center middle. Big right. Right edge. Right up out. Center up. And left up out. Alright, so now we've got the upper bees in their own folder. So make another folder. This will be lower bees. I'm going to drag this to the bottom of this lines folder. And the lower bees should include right down out, right up in, and left up in. So now this is the same as the color layer, and so now we've got isolated flower color. So we'll put isolated flower lines. Then we just have flowers, but we're going to be dividing this up. Maybe it would be better to name it so lower bees Oh, there's only 3 of them. Right. The lower B's are all below flowers, so all the flower stuff should be above. So lines, flower lines. Oh, because I have a separate folder. You don't need the separate folder. Okay, so we don't need this flower lines folder anymore. Goodness. I'm going to move some layers into this folder. I named it unneeded. It's not necessarily true. Old. What do I want to name this? I'll name it old. Old layers. Maybe if we want to use them, we can come back to them, but we don't need them now. Okay, so now we're not going to worry about color. I'm just thinking about the logic of how these lines should lay on top of one another. So since these are isolated, that means there's nothing above or below them. So I'll just leave those where they are. So we have the left middle blooms. These should definitely be on top of the left middle bud. I'm going to rename this to be more in line with what I did with the bees. Or put what it is first and then its location. Alright, at last we can continue forward. The next thing to separate is these 2 buds, which can stay on their own layer. In fact, maybe I'll put all the buds on their own layer eventually. But then this one wouldn't be. But I could still put it on the layer with these ones. That way I won't have a separate layer for things that otherwise aren't touching. Okay, that's a future thing to consider. Now I just gotta divide this. So since these are gonna be in the background, and I'll want those extra insurance pixels, I'll work on them first. I'm going to move my keyboard and mouse over to the side again. I work fully on my tablet. I've been doing half tablet, half keyboard for the last little while. Ooh, let's save actually. That reminds me, I haven't saved in a while. So maybe the first thing I'll do is divide this onto... no, I was thinking of taking the whole thing onto its own layer, but I'm not going to do that. Let's just do the buds. I'm going to lasso the buds. Now we don't have to do it very precisely. Then we don't want to... Oh, let's see, how am I going to do this? We kind of want to cut, but we don't want to cut. Well, for this layer, we're just going to copy. Then we're going to paste in place. And this one can be called buds, because there's 2 of them. Left down. I was confused why some of the B's were still showing. It's because this folder was still turned on. Alright, I see how I'm gonna approach this. First we're gonna clean these because we want to remove as much as we can while still leaving some insurance pixels. Someone's having fun with their car horn out there. You just keep tapping it lightly over and over. The more I erase, the more difficult it becomes to remember what each line was supposed to represent. Because then I don't have the reference of the lines that I erased to help me remember. So right now it's just all one big white patch for the color, so there's no help there. There go the fans. Guess it's time to save. Oh, you can kind of see Aoife again. She repositioned herself. You can just barely see her face. Clean up what you can. Man, this is just barely touching here. But I'll leave some pixels, some little insurance pixels. Alright, so these lines are done. Now we're going to go back to the original lines and select just the flower. This scrolled all the way down. Couldn't tell. Gotta do it again. Just looking to see whether I actually got everything. So we got a little tight right here, so I'm gonna add a little bit extra selection here too. Alright, so it's time to copy, paste in place. Got our new layer. We'll call this one Bloom. Left down. And we need this one to sit on top of the buds layer. And now we can go in and erase. Actually, I could turn the color layer off. I don't even need that right now. Then we'll go and erase any of the bud stuff. And we don't need insurance pixels for this. This is what we saved them for on the other layer. Just want to check real quick though. Okay, did that. Good. Okay, I think that's it for this one. Yeah. Awesome. So just drag this over here. Look for any rogue pixels, which I am pleasantly surprised to not see any. Awesome. Let's turn that off. Now on the original line's copy, I'm just going to erase this. So, a really huge giant brush. Could have lassoed and deleted it, but I already started doing it this way with the tool I already had open. Double check it's all clear. Yep. No leftover pixels. So that means we can move either, we can get the little ones and maybe leave the big one for last, or so it doesn't really matter. So let's get the big one. So we need to divide it into the huge flower and then the half bloom. It's a bud that's turning into a bloom. Copy, paste in place. Now I just gotta erase away stuff that's not actually part of this. It's nice. This flower is actually so big that I treated it the same way as I did the bees and cut space in the lines between this and the flower below it. So that makes it a lot easier. In fact, I have an idea for how I can get this separated on that copy layer too. I'm gonna get this one cleaned up first though. looks like everything. I'm not sure by putting that effect on there. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so my idea is select inverse, and then we're going to expand the selection by a few pixels. See, like what, 5 pixels? 5 pixels still might be too much. Oh, 3 pixels. And now what I'm going to see is, does that cut into any of these lines that I actually want to keep? And if it does, we will just lasso it out. To lasso out, to remove something from a selection, you use Alt, hold down Alt. Actually, seems like if I just do this again and expand by a single pixel, seems like that might be enough. So what I want to do is go to the original lines, copy. Oh yeah. And instead of using delete, because that failed me earlier, as expected, but I thought I had figured out how to get around it. I hadn't. I'm just going to use my eraser. But now I can just erase super freely because everything outside this selection is safe. And just for good measure, I'm going over it one more time. Did all that work and it still left some stuff. At least it wasn't so bad as last time. Glad I checked. Glad I didn't just trust it. Can't be trusted. But that was, yeah, that was way faster though than the last time. Okay, and what this means is now I can just lasso this, not even worry about erasing or spare pixels or whatever. We can actually cut it, not just copy, but cut, and then paste into place, and there it is. So we'll call this Blooming Bud. Center up. And it definitely needs to go below the big balloon. There. They fit like puzzle pieces inside of one another. So now we're just down to these two groups. This should be super easy. Guess let's do the bud first. Copy, paste onto new layer. And we can turn that off for now. Go in here and erase the stuff we don't want. Leaving them insurance pixels though, just in case I erase too much when I go to erase the flour layer. I was going to say level. The flour level. Yeah, like right here, it's hard to decide. Is this... It looks like the curve of this line, but it also looks just as much like the straight of this line. I just leave it. Leave it all there. Oh, 10-minute warning. Buzzing me on my wrist. 10 minutes left in the stream. Time to name this, bud. Right down, I guess, because it's the only bud on the right at the bottom. Let's put it here. Let's check for rogue pixels. Oh, look like it did a pretty good job. I don't see any. Well, there's some that, but that has nothing to do with what I did. They just existed already from before. Okay. Done with that. So now on the original lines copy, we'll do the same thing, but with this flower. So this I suppose we can cut and then paste in place. And I guess on original lines copy real quick, I'll erase the bud because we don't need that anymore. It's on its own layer. I couldn't tell if it was getting erased or not because the other layer was on. There. Yeah, it keeps leaving stuff at the edges. Has it done that elsewhere? Is it any pink? Okay. Oh, yep. Did it here too. Okay, I think that's all though. Run my stylus all around it just in case. But I think I got them all. There's one right there. Okay. Now back to this layer. Yay. pretty clean job here too, just that one little speck. Now we can name this flower. No, we were calling it Bloom. Bloom right down. Trying to keep some consistency, but when you have so many layers, it's really hard. There. Okay, last thing. Maybe we can finish it. We've got 6 minutes left. Ooh, in this case, the bud, well, it's a blooming bud. It's actually going to be on top. PC Tower fans are giving me another warning. Guess I'll hit save. Alright, this one is going to be called Blooming Bud. I'm getting good at typing with one hand on a keyboard that's turned sideways. Right edge. Do a little check. Yay! It was cleanly done. And now all we have left on the original line's copy is this flower that we want, so we don't even have to cut it. We just need to erase the bud that we just moved on to its own layer. This first part we can do with a bigger brush. A little bit smaller. This layer is going to be under the other one, so I'm leaving the insurance pixels, as I have been calling them. Oh, wait, have I been erasing the wrong thing? It's hard to tell. Oh, this one I wanted to keep, but okay. I erased the right thing there, but this one I don't want to erase. It's coming out of over here. Oh, this is what I was talking about earlier. The more context gets erased, the harder it is to tell what I actually want to keep. At least I noticed it fairly quickly. Nice. And this is perfect timing. So we're just gonna turn that effects layer off. We're gonna drag this up here and rename it. This also feels like a blooming bud. But we'll just call it bloom so that it's something different. So I can still say right edge. It's further along than the one above it. Okay. So now all of these elements are on their own layers so they can be colored separately. Tomorrow I might merge some of them that aren't touching, where the pixels aren't touching, but if they're on their own layer, that just makes the file size smaller so it's easier to handle. Easier for my computer to handle, easier for storage purposes. And then of course we've got the upper B's and the lower B's. So everything's on its own layer. That's great to finish up a task. Feels good to finish it up right on time. So that is it for today's live stream. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for everything you do to support Studio Mikarts. If you're new to my channel and you want to see more, please follow Studio Mikarts on Twitch to get notified next time I go live. You can also support me by becoming a Twitch subscriber to get ad-free viewing and cute emotes, joining my Patreon for lovely illustrated goodies in the mail, or sending some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. All the links are in my Twitch About section and in the YouTube description if you're watching the recording. Tomorrow I'll be back at the same time working on this same project, so I hope to see you then. But either way, let me wish you a wonderful rest of your day and thank you for watching!